My girlfriend said I had to ask her dad for permission to marry her. I said no, and now our entire wedding might be at risk. Posted by you/watermelonidbison12. So I feel like the normal situation I read about is the opposite, but I personally feel I am in the right here. I, 30M, have been dating my girlfriend, 29F, for 4 years now, and things have, all in all, been pretty good. We both don't see eye to eye politically on many things with her father, but we still visit him and her mother fairly frequently around the holidays. He is friendly enough to know not to bring up politics around us because we don't agree, but I digress. I've talked about proposing to my girlfriend over the past couple of months and about what she wants, etc., and she mentioned she wanted me to ask her dad for permission. I was kind of taken aback by this. It isn't a normal thing my girlfriend would say. So I asked why. She said it's something she would like me to do, her sister's husband did it, and some wedding funding from her dad would likely be contingent on me doing this. I responded that I wouldn't be asking another person for permission to marry her. It's an extremely outdated tradition, for one, and I'm a 30-year-old person. I can do what I want to do with someone I love. I don't need anyone else's permission. She got mad and said I just needed to do it because it's a small thing to ask for, and she wants some of the money to have a few more things at our wedding that we won't be able to afford without it. I'm continuing to stand my ground about not asking for this. Am I the jerk here? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I'm honestly going with not the jerk. I completely understand your side, and logically, it doesn't make sense to ask for permission. However, not everything about relationships is logical, especially with religious/conservative parents. I grew up in a religious family, so I can understand where she might be coming from. It may be a way for her to feel like you are being fully welcomed into the family. It's a verbal approval from her father that he is okay with you marrying her, and honestly, parental approval is always craved, especially in households where it isn't always given. It could also be a way for her to try to maintain some semblance of a relationship with her parents, i.e., an olive branch, especially if things are strained due to political differences. Also, if her parents will contribute more money this way, she could be looking forward to a dream wedding that needs extra funds. When my aunt got married, her husband just had a simple conversation with my grandfather. More of I am planning on asking your daughter to marry me, and I wanted to let you know, man-to-man kind of thing. Maybe this would be more of a middle ground for you. Update 1 month 2 weeks later. Hi all. After reading a lot of the responses in the original thread, I decided to ask for my girlfriend's parents' blessing. I told her I was going to do it, and she was very happy. We were going to visit about 2 weeks after I posted the thread, and I figured it would be a good opportunity to ask. One morning, my fiancée went for a run while I was lounging around talking with her parents. I said I'd like to talk to them about something. They both kind of smiled like they knew what I was going to say, and her dad immediately said, "Let's go talk in the garage." So he and I went out there, and I phrased it like some people had suggested, "I want to marry your daughter, and I'm letting you know that I plan to propose because I love her. I also want to get your blessing because I respect you and your wife." He was pleased with the answer, smiled, and gave his approval for me to propose. That was all I needed. The proposal went great about a month later, romantic and just like I had planned. My fiancé loved it. This past Sunday, we were discussing venues and the ceremony when my fiancé casually said, "Well, Dad wants us to get married in this church, so we'll be doing it here." Now, I'm not religious and wouldn't mind getting married in a church, but again, why does his opinion matter for our wedding? So I asked, "Anything else your dad wants for our wedding?" She said we also needed to stay in separate rooms the night before our wedding, per her father. Hilarious, since we've been living together for almost 2 years. This led to a massive argument about the wedding and the role of her dad in her life. I told her that up until a couple of months ago, it seemed like she couldn't have cared less about what her dad thought. But would it stop with the wedding? Would it continue if we had children? Her excuse was that she was ruining her dream wedding, and it was contingent on appeasing her father. She didn't understand why I couldn't compromise and help get her the extra cash to have the wedding she had always dreamed of. So I told her, "I'm not ready to get married if this is the stance you're going to take with your father," and that did not go over well. The yelling started, and things began being thrown at me. So I left. I called my buddy and went to his place. He gladly let me come over. I've got tons of missed calls from her, some texts ranging from, "I miss you, let's talk it out," to, "You're an abuser trying to separate me from my family." I just honestly don't know where this behavior is coming from. It's like my fiancé has been taken over by some bridezilla who only cares about having a perfect wedding. I'm just taking time to think about everything and what I want to do next. I'll maybe update again after this, but for now, things aren't looking too great for the future of our relationship. Just trying to keep my head above water. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Pandering to family members to get money from them? Red flag. Resorting to physical violence when they don't get their way? Red flag. Gaslighting you into thinking you're the abuser, i.e., playing the victim? Red flag. You're lucky these red flags were displayed before tying the knot. You can bet your sweet rear that as traditional as she's trying to play it to fund her wedding, she'll do the same later for divorce proceedings. If I were you, I'd leave. Not that it will be easy, but if you go through with this, I can guarantee you'll come to regret it. Good luck. Commenter 2. Any further news? Has she started to come to her senses yet? Ops response. To be completely honest, not much. The wedding is still on hold for the moment. We've had maybe 2 brief phone calls, one that started out okay but turned into her being unable to speak because she was crying so hard, and another quick one to set up a time and place to talk things out. I might update depending on how that goes. I've mostly been trying to pick up OT when I can and focus on work. It's easier when I don't have to think about all this other stuff. At least I got some time away to play some Hogwarts Legacy lol. Second update 2 months 1 week later. Hey all. Been getting quite a few messages asking me how things are going, so I figured I'd give you all a quick update. The wedding is not happening. We broke up. I've just moved into a new place after staying with a friend for a bit, and I'm just figuring out life, just working and staying busy with my golf league. My ex and I tried to make it work for a little while after my last update, and I think we both realized that after what had transpired, it wasn't going to work. So, that's what I've got for you. Not that exciting. But hey, honestly, life is pretty boring most of the time, unlike what most people on Reddit would like you to believe lol. Third update 1 year 2 months later. Hey everybody. Kind of forgot about this account, to be honest. I was thinking about this the other day and logged in to find a couple of people asking how I was doing. To be honest, not much has changed. I think the last time I updated you, I had just moved into a new place, and my ex and I had separated and called off the wedding. For about 4 months or so, I didn't have any contact with my ex, we just figured it would be best to go our separate ways. I buried myself in work and kept trying to keep my mind off her. But out of the blue, I got a message from her just asking how I was doing. We ended up texting for a bit over the next couple of days and decided we wanted to meet up for a quick round of drinks just to get some closure. Drinks went well, and we continued to text maybe once every 2 weeks or so. One thing led to another, and on a random night, I got a text from her asking me to come over to her new place. So I did, We've kept this arrangement going now for a while, no plans on getting back together at all, but it's nice to feel like a normal person every 2 to 3 weeks. So that's really it. Work is good, and I'm thinking about potentially getting back out into the dating world soon. I'll have to end the arrangement with my ex if I do, but I think she'll be understanding. Anyways, appreciate you all asking about me. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Did she ever give any excuse for her behavior back then? Seems kind of wild to go from happy in love, to engaged, to broken up in such a short amount of time. Ops response. That's a fair question, I didn't get too deep into that. It basically just came down to her wanting the extra cash for the wedding. She was just so hellbent on having the perfect wedding and was willing to do anything to get that. She realizes she was wrong now, or at least she says she does. My hesitation is obviously still there because I don't know if she's being truthful or not. Commenter. I suppose the real question is then, how would this time be different, if it were to be a reconciliation? In her desire to get money for a wedding, she instead imploded her entire relationship and ended up with no wedding at all. That seems like a steep price to pay for a single day. If you started over, would expectations be different? Would her family accept you back into the fold? She seems to have a rather traditional father/family. Would he give his blessing and financial contribution a second time? And if not, would she be okay with that? Do you even want a relationship with a partner's family that is conditional on you following the rules they have? You aren't just marrying a person, you're marrying into a family. So if you are interested in trying to start again, some of these things might need to be considered. Ops response. I guess I should clarify, when I said getting back into dating, I didn't mean with my ex. I think we've both realized the arrangement is convenient for the time being, but I have no intention of getting into another relationship with her. That trust has been broken.